Working Fans Podcast. Cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Coming down 3, 2.
Welcome back for another week of the Working Fans Podcast. This is AJ. I'm the former wrestler. We've got Dave, the ultimate fan, here with us. As we do every week, our producer Joe likes to make us sound good and makes us look way more professional than we actually are. As always, you can find us on Twitter, that's @FansWorking, Facebook, Working Fans Pod. We've got email where you can reach out to us and please contact us to let us know what you think of the podcast and for any ideas that you might have. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. We're on Instagram where you can keep up with us at workingfanswrestling_pod. And then you can now listen to us on all major platforms, including Anchor.fm. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and you can actually check us out on YouTube. Now, it's important when you go onto the Apple Podcasts and YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, let us know what you think so you can help us out and we can continue to do what we love and bring you guys in as fans.
Hello, this is Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, and you are listening to the Working Fan Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Working Fans Podcast with Dave and AJ, and today we got National Wrestling Alliance great, the one and only 9-time tag team champion with Robert Gibson, the ultimate babyface, Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing real good, man. Thank you for having me on your show today. You know, it's just another day at the office, my friend.
Awesome to hear, man. Well, let's start right in the beginning. You trained with your father and a guy named Ken Lucas. So Paul Morton, Ken Lucas, how was it breaking into business?
Well, you know, coming from a wrestling family, when I first started, you know, the whole business was different. Really sacred. It was hard to get in. And don't think just because my dad was a wrestler or a referee that I had it easy in any way. Matter of fact, I think it was just a little bit harder. It's the same thing, you know, my son wants to be a wrestler, and it's hard to get your family into the business once you're in there. I mean, for certain people it is anyway. My dad, he spent all his life in the wrestling business. He wrestled in the 50s and 60s, and then he refereed for the Memphis wrestling. It goes and on his times when I broke into the business. You was mentioned earlier about Ken Lucas, but before that route, you know, I had a lot of them. You know, you learned I was partners with a guy named Sonny King. Me and Eddie Gilbert was partners before me and Ken Lucas were. Me and Eddie were in Oklahoma territory together with Leroy McGurk. Skandar Akbar was the booker. And then I left there and I went back to Memphis, and that's when me and Ken Lucas teamed up. Kitty and I, we went to San Antonio for Southwest Championship Wrestling that was owned by Tully Blanchard's dad, Joe Blanchard. And then that's where I first met Tully. Matter of fact, him and Gino Hernandez were partners at that time. And me and Ken Lucas did that. But, you know, and people a lot of times tell me, Ricky Morton, you're one of the greatest baby faces in the world. But what people don't understand is they don't go back. They don't understand the history of professional wrestling. Ken Lucas is one of the greatest baby faces of all time in our business. He just never got the recognition. Nowadays, the people don't know him or knew who he is. Once you get a chance to check him out, go back in the days and look up Ken Lucas. And man, I'm telling you, he'll really blow your mind in our business by telling a story. The psychology in the ring. He was one of the best I ever learned from, man. And to me, he was the greatest of all.
Huh. Hi, Ricky. My name's AJ. I'm the co-host. I actually wrestled for 10 years. I trained with Adrian Street many, many years ago and then worked through a lot of the South and then up here in the Northeast. And I am like yourself. I'm going to be a little quieter than I normally am because to me, this is an opportunity to sit under the learning tree. It's the reason why I actually listen to the School of Morton podcast every week because, quite frankly, everything that you say means so much. And I've watched old footage of you and Ken Lucas teaming up together and actually working matches. And I think one of the things that we're missing today is they don't tell the story. People don't work the body parts anymore. They don't work the crowd the same way. And the reason why you were such a great babyface, in my opinion, was just the sympathy that you drew from having those body parts worked over on you and the way you bumped your ass off in the ring. So, Ricky, I just want to say thank you for that, and thank you for being on this podcast.
Yeah, you know what, AJ, and thank you for mentioning that. And you see, I do have my wrestling school, and I try to tell people, this is really hard. Just this one simple thing. It's really hard to make the guys to understand that you got to understand our business before you can even do it. Matter of fact, I was at WrestleCade back at Thanksgiving time, which we had, what I'm saying is, but they had the night, on a Friday night, they had, like, a lot of the promoters brought some of their top guys in to wrestle. And I wasn't doing nothing, so I walked over to the Civic Center, and I was going to sit down and watch some of the match. And it really just blew my mind. The first match, I think it started out with a Hurricane Carolina off the top rope to the floor. And then I'm thinking to myself, where the hell are you going to go from here? Nobody knows. And then, after the second match, they asked me, so where'd you go? And I said, dude, I'm watching Andy Griffith rerun. Every match is the same. You're all doing the same high spots. You're trying to outdo each other. And the one simplest thing that none of you have did all night, I haven't seen one of you grab a wrestling hold. Not a headlock, not an arm.
Right.
It's just like you got a playbook written on your arm, high spot number 1, high spot number 2, high spot number 3, and none of it means nothing. To the average wrestling fan that is today, to them, I don't know. But if you go back in the era of, especially when we worked the Midnight Express and when we worked the Four Horsemen, Robert and I, and me, Russell, and Ric Flair, we told a story. Before, and this is really funny, because we never, and I'm going back to the thing again, I tell you a lot about how the business used to be. No, I didn't walk 20 miles barefooted in snow down. No, nothing like that. But what I'm saying is the baby faces and the heels never talked. You never seen that.
Right.
We were on separate sides of the building. Matter of fact, you get fired if you even got close to a baby face or because our business was sacred. 9 out of 10 times, unless you was at TV, but you didn't go in the back, all you got was a finish. Me and Robert walking to the ring is normally when we got our finish, and it wasn't this and you got to do that. It's baby face is over or the heel's over. That's all they told you. We'd go out and do our shows, but you see, it's just a different time, different place for our business. But if entertainment part of it, like you watch WWE and you watch these right here, and sometimes, to me, I really get lost just wondering what they're going to do next. And what really blows my mind is I wonder if a lot of people haven't got really, really seriously hurt more than what they are. And it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's really going to happen. Because the guys don't know how to take care of each other no more. I see them on there sometimes just kick their brains out. There's no need for that. If you know how to work in our business, you don't have to do that. And something's going to have to change somewhere around the time. And when it does, that's when Ricky Morton's going to step in. To let these guys understand, it's more to our business than, I was watching TV the other night, and I told my wife, and I says, well, this guy here is fixing to do something really spectacular. She said, how you know? I said, there's 20 guys on the floor going to catch it.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, man. And things just changed.
Well,
looking forward to, how you doing, one guys? And I know that y'all asked the questions. But,
no, please, Ricky. No, I was just going to mention.
The new year 2020, but man, 2019, and you go back to TC, NWA, and you see that. But last year, I think Robert and I, at me being 63 years old, had one of the greatest years we had in business.
Right.
I was never on a contract. Never had a contract in my life. Made a lot of people rich. And this is what nobody understands. I stood up to the boys in my day. And it's not the guys in my era or the guys after that. It's the guys right now in our business that respect what Robert and I have done. I don't know. A lot of times, I try to get a job at big companies, not to wrestle, but to work in the back. And it's like I'm a threat to a lot of people. But when you go into the today when they call us in, it's so much respect that these young kids that don't have to, that show Robert and I some of the greatest respect, and they listen to a lot of things that I'm talking about. I'm hoping that 2020 top 2019, especially being at the age I am, because I'm not here in this business to prove a point. I'm not here to be somebody that I'm not. I still depend on wrestling for a living. Like you said, dude, my biggest year in the wrestling business was $125,000, and that was in 1985. I'm hoping to see. That's what I'm saying, and I think that Robert and I did. We paved the roads because I wanted, back in 1985 and 86, I knew that our wrestling business, some of our people could be as famous as some of these great football players or great athletes in our business, and what it come to. But see, we got left behind because I'm the one that took the heat for everybody. I mean, and I did. I told promoters I felt. I stuck up for the boys, but a lot of it is too. But it's my fault because I wasn't
political.
Go back over again and get my education a lot better. I wasn't educated enough to know what was really going on, but I was educated enough to know that I fought for the boys.
Yeah.
To get them where they're at today.
It's funny, like you're saying, it almost seems like wrestling reflects society in a way. Everybody is nicer and more respectful on one hand, which is really nice. Like, in a sense, I think you do have a lot more understanding in the world now than you did maybe years ago. But on the flip side of that, everything is so fast-paced. And, like, you watch a TV series, now you can watch a whole season in, one sitting. You can just spend, Netflix will just down you a whole series. And I feel like wrestling is kind of that way too. It's just everything is fast, and there's all this crazy stuff happening, like you said. But when I was a kid, I was more glued to it because, you only had wrestling once a week, TV, a lot of enhancement matches. Maybe you get one big main event match, and then you had to go to the arena or buy a pay-per-view. And it just meant more because you had to wait. There wasn't so much of it.
Yeah, but you know what? And I've thought about the same thing. But if these guys would slow down a little bit instead of making something happen, everything happened in one night. You read a great book. You read a great book, but if normally when you write a book, you write the finish first. The ending of the book is written before the rest of the book is. So if they could sit down and just keep you interested in that whole program like a book does until you get to the finish. But now it seems like they're trying to, they write the whole book in one night. And if it ain't working, they change to something else. That's just my opinion. Opinions like your ass. Everybody's got one.
Right.
Well, Rick, I think it also goes back to what you were talking about. When you were talking before, you mentioned the fact that you'll watch the first match and you see somebody doing one of those super hurricanrana flippity flu things in the first match, and you don't go to a movie or a book and see the biggest action happen in the first match, the second match. Back in the good old days, and I love to say that, when wrestling was wrestling and not sports entertainment, what we did was we built matches and built up a storyline to the main event. You weren't trying to have.
Well, when I started in the business, when I first went to Memphis territory, and guys, the Memphis territory was the hottest wrestling bed ever in its time when you had territories. Memphis Coliseum, every Monday night, and it was sold out. Every Tuesday, Louisville, Wednesday, Evansville. But these buildings, we didn't, it's like they didn't come to your town once a year. They sold out every week. Could you imagine WWE coming to the same town every Monday night and doing Monday Night Raw?
Sure. Right.
How many people would you have out in the crowd?
Oh, yeah. Okay. It ain't going to happen.
About 6 weeks, you'd be able to throw a hand grenade in there. It wouldn't hurt nobody.
Right. They're having trouble selling out doing what they're doing.
But what I'm trying to say is now, in the business, when I was in Memphis, if you read the first match, you never do a punch. You worked a headlock. Second match, maybe the arm. Third match, maybe that. Then you had your semi-main event, which was an angle on TV, maybe a tag team. And then you had your main event, Lawler or Dundee, whatever it was. And that's just the way it was. Even in my wrestlers, because I try to teach these guys, and I just mentioned this. Even right now, if you watch me wrestle, even though if I'm in there, I will always start my match off just to work up for me to ball my fist up. And, instead of me just going in the ring, my fist up, throwing punches, doing it, I would go to 2 or 3 things where I'm outsmarting the heel, then the heel does something mean or cheats, and it gives me a reason just to ball my fist up. And to try to make people understand that, man, gosh, I'd be better off winning the lottery, I guess. But don't get me wrong, dude. I mean, I absolutely adore this business. I mean, I love it. It's nothing, they had a saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day of your life.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a bunch of bullshit.
That's good to know.
That's a bunch of bullshit. Okay. I told somebody the other day, man, I says, I wrestle for free. I get paid for traveling.
All right.
And I do. I mean, I love my business. And, it's hard, along the road, in 85 when you work for territories, you never had a day off. And I'm serious. I can remember the times that Rick and I, man, we, I think 17 days in a row we went an hour time limit. And that was 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. Not counting the TV on Saturday morning. But, it's just the way it was. I mean, that's the way territories were fought. And you got paid by how many butts you put in the seats. And you got paid, the boys depended on you. I didn't work main event just because I was there, and I learned. You could tell you something, dude. I might, Dusty Rhodes was a booker. And I learned so much from Dusty. It's unbelievable. And one day I'll be able to have my ability, that somebody will hire me to show what I know in this business. But don't get me wrong, we didn't always get along together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had our fusses, but I got to say that it was great because we all depended on each other.
I got to tell you, before I forget, I want to get this out. I'm 43 years old, and I saw you wrestle, as a young man, but I can't believe I've seen you live twice, and it was both in 2019. I saw you at an independent show at Beyond Wrestling in New Japan. So when you talk about still going strong, like it's crazy, man.
Oh, man, where'd you see us? What show did you see me at New Japan?
The Mask show.
Yeah, man, that was really cool up there that night. We wrestled Chase Owens.
Yep.
And this guy, Chase is one of my students from my school. Chase is one of the few and far between. He has a good thing going in Japan, but God, man, he can work a match. So unbelievable and tell that story. But I took a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
But thank you. You know what? That's really cool, and I hope you get to see them more. New Japan's going to be back here. We were going to be formed the 24th, but we got to do NWA. We have to do a whole other season taping, 24th, 25th, and 26th. But then we leave straight from there. We go to New Japan shows again. Matter of fact, I think we're going to be in Raleigh, Miami, and Nashville, Atlanta.
And Ricky,
I'm looking forward to that.
Ricky, how do you feel about the NWA being back? Is that got to be exciting?
Yeah, it's exciting. And it's another thing, and stop to think about this. It's not me trying to be something that I'm not. Like I keep repeating myself. When they tell us they're going to put the belts on us, I really was skeptical of it. But then I understood what they were doing, okay? Man, you keep watching this series because I don't give spoiler works, but it works into where me and Nick Addis has a match. It's really cool. I want you guys to watch that match.
Oh, yeah, we've been watching every week.
We saw this Tuesday, we saw you come out at the end and you stole the show.
Yeah.
With your just the altercation.
Yes, and you see, and this is what, really listen to this right here. It's like those guys that worked there. Wild Card Thomas.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. See, a lot of people just don't understand how good he is. And you see, it's not what he does, it's what he don't do when I get in the ring with him. This is my talk. I really don't like, and I still can't say, bro, I ain't bullshitting. I still believe in my business. But there's the things that he does in the ring with me that makes me look like I'm 19 years old because he knows. And I didn't have to tell it. And that's what I like about it. It's what our business is missing today. And a lot of you guys, everybody listen, it ain't what you do, it's what you don't do. And it's the greatest things in the world. Keep watching NWA because it only gets better. I promise you it does. They have a lot of great talent on there, guys. A lot of great talent. And I love to sit in the back and just watch them. They do a lot of great things on there. And and I don't know how far to go, but I hope it lasts forever, because right now it's a great show, great ratings, and I know that the pay-per-view, they was hoping for this much, and they got 6 times that.
Oh, nice.
So I thought it was pretty good. Yes.
Ricky, one of the things that I appreciate that you're doing is that you don't go too far into it, and that you do keep some of the mystique that is the wrestling. Having worked for the 10 years, one of the things that I told these guys when we started the podcast is that I will never go into exactly what we do, what kind of things we communicate with each other, how we do things in the ring. And the reason why I don't do that is because at the end of the day, it's like a great magician. You don't go to a magic show wanting to know how to do the trick. You go to a magic show to be entertained. And if we tell everybody every little thing that we do and how we do it, it takes away from the wrestling that we love so much.
Yeah, but you see, man, nowadays everywhere you go, and I hate this, guys walk up to you and they think that they're giving you the wrestler's handshake.
Oh, God, I hate that.
They don't have a damn clue what it even means. And they look at you like I'm supposed to be. Look here, bud. You don't have a clue what you just did to me.
Yeah.
You don't even understand what that means. And whoever told you what that means, or if they're the ones that trained you, they have no business even training you.
I agree.
I meet a lot of guys, and if you're interested in being a professional wrestler, you have to go to somebody that knows what they're doing, how to train you. You just can't go out and talk to people all the time. Who trained you? So-and-so. What the hell is this place at? Or what's this guy's name? I never even heard of him before. What's he doing training you? What company do you ever work for? And it's nothing. And then they expect to get in the ring with me, and it don't happen. But, every now and then, buddy, I hit the lottery. I get in the ring with some guys that are really phenomenal. And I'm going to say one of them right now is Santana and Ortiz, the LEX that used to be. Well, and I'm going to kayfabe my business too, but I'm going to tell you this: there's 2 guys. Wherever they got and wherever they going, they deserve it. They are absolutely phenomenal in the ring. Wow! And and I'm serious. The great matter of fact is, I guess they're the ones that put Robert and I back on the map. Really, to tell you the truth, and I don't have, I'm not ashamed to say that. They're a real big deal in AEW, which next Wednesday night I will be back.
Oh, no kidding. Awesome.
Next Wednesday, the 8th, I'll be back on AEW. I'm looking forward to going there, because what I'm saying to you is the guys now that still take care of Robert and I. Because, and what I was telling you earlier, I don't know if I'll finish it, I still depend on wrestling to make a living, guys.
Right.
And I do. And like I was telling you earlier, I just not be being on TV trying to be something that I'm not. This is the only thing I know. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a doctor's degree. I barely have a high school education. But wrestling, I have a PhD in. And these guys, these days, and that's what I appreciate. They're the ones that take care of this NWA, all these guys, and they treat me with the most upright respect that you could ever imagine, fellas. And don't think I don't ever appreciate that, and don't think that before I leave that building, I'll let everybody in that building know how I feel. Meet a lot of young guys with a lot of great talent on the independent circuit. But our business is not based on, which I'm going back to the wrestling, because it's not based on what you do. It's just being at the right place at the right time. And being at the right place at the right time is when somebody asks you to do something, you know how to do it. There's no questions asked. There's nothing that you know what they're talking about and know how to do it, because that's how you get our jobs. Same thing I was saying, people like me and people like it in our wrestling business. I even say this, even Hunter Hensley, he even watched him. He can know if you know how to work it out. But see, you don't go in the ring and start the match off with a Hurricane Corona. You understand me? I can look at guys and tell them if they know how to work or not. I look at guys and tell them if I'm going to do anything that night, because I don't want them to hurt me. I still got to wrestle next weekend to pay my bills, and that's just the way. I don't know what track I got off on, but buddy, I'm way out there right now. Okay.
Ricky, speaking of being in the right place at the right time, we did an interview earlier today with Nikita Koloff, and he was telling us a story, and he didn't tell us the full story because he said you tell the story much better than he does, where as a very green and young Nikita was in the ring for one of his first couple matches that he got to wrestle.
I could take it over from here.
Go ahead.
I can take it. I know exactly where you're going to. Robert and I there, at the time when we come into NWA, Nikita was there, but he hadn't been. You have to be in a ring to work and learn our business. It takes you a long time. We was doing most of the work with Barry Dorso and Ivan Koloff, and here comes Nikita in the ring. And is it all right to say? I mean, I have said a couple of bad words.
Ricky, you can say.
Oh, you say whatever you want. Yeah, anything. That's all good.
I get in the ring, I start the match off with Nikita, I lock up with him, and see, this is the part about training. God, man, he headbutted me so hard, I almost knocked me out. And I went, holy crap. And I rubbed my head, I went, okay, accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I locked up with him again, headbutted me again.
Oh.
Holy crap. And maybe I'll tell you another good story, but remind me another one. That butted me again, and I walked over, I was rubbing my head, and I walked over to Robert, and I said, Robert, pull this big son of a bitch off me. I went to lock up with him again. When he do, I threw my elbow up there, and it hit him in the eye, and it split his eye wide open.
Oh, man.
He was cussing, hollering, and screaming and fighting, blah, blah, blah. But then when I locked up with him the third time, he had that head all the way back. He didn't headbutt me no more.
There you go. All right.
I hope that's what he told you.
Oh, yeah.
Another one like that, Johnny, at this time, this is LBJ. He used to wrestle this Johnny Hawk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When we first broke into business. Oh, yeah. And, that's when we were for Crockett. That's when he moved to Dallas. Took, NWA went to Dallas after WCW and bought him out. So, all that stuff. So, forgot me and Robert working with him and somebody. And he told, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not because he's a big bad dude. You hear me? So I told him, I said, snatch the hell out, give me a big towel. Well, but he hit that rope, and he hit me so hard that it damn near knocked me through the ropes to the floor. And the same thing, I rolled back in the ring. I told Robert, I says, come in here and pull this son of a bitch off me. And I told him, I says, he got me a turnbuckle, and I said, man, give me a turnbuckle, come charging fast as you can. And when he come charging as fast as he can, I come out of that turnbuckle, and I hit him hard as I can, right in the mouth. But boom, but you see, he's a big, tough, bad guy. And then when I hit him real hard, he looked at me so pitiful, and he goes, what did you do that for? and I looked at him. I went, because I'm just a dumb son of a bitch, I guess. I'm just because it didn't phase it. You understand me? And he goes, was that a receipt? I says, yeah, I think so. Then I walked over and tagged Robert.
Oh, man.
But if you ever see him, ask him about that. I mean, it's really a great story.
Awesome.
Cool.
One other thing I wanted to ask you, too, because you were talking about your school and you talked about training people think. We had Al Snow on here about a couple months ago, and he runs a school down Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was telling us the same thing, basically, that there's a lot of people who probably shouldn't be training today, and that back in the day that you were a reflection of where you came from. That he said if he did anything wrong, even to this day, like he would hear about it from his trainer, and you get blackballed.
So, see, in my day, I worked the territory.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about guys like you were tough. Gypsy Joe, all them guys. They would give you one spot, and if you messed it up, they didn't hurt you, but they just ate your lunch. They trapped you hard. They hit you across the back hard. And you didn't get another spot. You hear me?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. That's the way you did learn. I seen a lot of crazy stuff in this business. But, when you was one in the business, he didn't try to hurt you, but they try to make you learn. And it's like me when I send some of my guys out. See, it's my responsibility to make them do that. Matter of fact, one of my guys went to Al Snow's Ring of Honor. His name's Luscious Lawrence. You get a chance to check him out. He's unbelievable. He's going to be He's going to be a superstar in our business. You know, I have a little school down here in Chuckey, Tennessee, out in the middle of nowhere, where we train 3 times a week. But it's for the boys. You know, they go for me, and I was glad that he went to Ohio Valley to get out because he gets more exposure. And if you guys get a chance, man, maybe you know what? We're probably this Sunday we'll have a live show on YouTube. I have a live shows on YouTube. The School of Morton. We do a lot of stuff on there, man. We have our own production. We have, matter of fact, we come on CWTV Eastern Time every Saturday at 12:30. We do a lot. I have a lot of good guys there that, you know what, man, and I just want them to live out their dream. Even if they don't make it, I can give them a chance, because my thing is teaching them about no matter what you become or what you do, is to never give up. When I first broke into business, I was told that I would never make it in the business. I was too small, which at the time, wrestling was different. You know, you didn't have the big bodybuilder guys, which you did, a few of them, but a lot of them were 400 or 500 pounds, just big old guys. And you see, our business did change for the best because of that. Because nowadays, even though we're our entertainment, dude, if you're not in physical shape, if you're not a real professional athlete, you're not going to make it 5 minutes in the ring. You have to train, you know. I guess, AJ, you can understand me. You got to train to take bumps. You just can't go in the ring and do. You know, I have guys that come into my school every now and then. You'll have a prick that walks in there that thinks he knows everything, and I want to be a professional wrestler. And I says, okay, really? Yeah, I can do this. Anybody can do this.
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't know, and I just tell myself, all right, just roll in the ring, and I just want you to hit the ropes 20 times. Okay. And I know, and if you're a wrestler, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
And you never hit them ropes. Look here, about that 8th time he hit it, he rolled out of the ring, grabbed his phone, he says, I have an emergency, I got to go. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to go, fella.
Back to what you were talking about, Ricky. When I trained with Adrian Street, he had that old-fashioned mentality of training, and it was a good way of training that he would teach me the holds, and he would teach me, obviously, how to take bumps and stuff of that nature. But if I didn't do holds right with him, he would sink it in a little deeper on me, or he would change the angle a little bit. And next thing you know, I was hooting and hollering like a little schoolgirl. And I'm 6'3", 280 pounds.
Have you ever heard about the dungeon from Stu Hart?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes. You know, I have a dungeon in my school, but I don't use it for that. You know, the world's changed now.
I'm planning on this year.
You know, Adrian, you know, and everybody didn't know, you know, Adrian was a tough guy. And I'm telling you what, Linda was tougher than him.
Oh, yeah.
We heard, yeah.
Oh, yes. His wife, I absolutely love Adrian. Man.
Having gone out for drinks with the two of them, oy.
Yeah. I was in the era where I got to work with him a lot in Memphis and in Louisiana. Adrian's the only guy in the world I know that could work your cheek, you know, in a match. You ever did that to you?
Oh, God, yes. Absolutely.
Some of the greatest stuff in the world that nobody even imagined that made it different.
I'll tell you, people thought that I was making up some of the stuff that I told them about my training with Adrian Street. And then WWF did that special this year on Adrian Street. And he talked about the stuff that he did that these guys didn't realize that he had done. And they're like, holy shit, you were telling the truth. Because they couldn't believe he did that.
And, you have that. You know, that over in England and all that place, Adrian Street, man, he was one of those guys, you know, he was a killer. You know, I first met Adrian. Did he ever tell you about the Russian pretzel hoat?
Oh, God. Please. Oh, that's just a nightmare. Oh, my God, I'm having flashbacks.
Well, this is what I call it, the Russian pretzel hoat, because, you know, once Adrian put it on you, you couldn't get out of it. And Adrian did. He got it on me, and then I got out of it. And he asked me, he says, how did you get out of it? I said, well, first of all, Adrian, when you put that on me, I looked up and I see a big set of balls. It's amazing what you do when you bite your own nuts.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
But no, guys, I hope I didn't offend nobody.
No, please,
that's
Ricky.
awesome.
When they put me in it, it was like being there with a boa constrictor. The more I tried to fight, the farther I felt like I was trapped.
You know what? When he said, when I left the part out, he said, how'd you get out of us? And when I looked up at that brush of pretzel hole, I said, a big set of balls. And then I said, it's amazing what you do when you bite your own nuts. You know?
Oh, goodness.
Adrian, I have a lot of good times with Adrian. We worked territories together. You had to take care of each other. You know, if I was hurt, we couldn't do things. And when you was working on top of that territory, you know, it's a whole different standard because you got to carry the territory. Make sure that the people believe in what you're doing. See me, even at being 63, when I go to the ring, I try, unless, you know, but I try to make the people believe what I'm doing. And that's a secret of our business, too. When I sell, if I can convince the guy on the front row that whatever the heel's doing to me, that's what's really happening. And that's when you learn. If you're out there and you're a good heel and you're a good baby face, you can actually learn how to sell one punch better than you can 47. You can sell one kick better than you can 300. And you guys know where I'm going to from this.
Absolutely.
It's just too much. You know, in real life, if you stomp me in the head 30 times, I'm not getting up. No. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week.
Watch an MMA fight.
Got to stop to understand.
I was saying, watch an MMA fight. That's not how that works. You know?
Yeah, I got you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey, I know that I'll be able to interview with you fellas.
Yep.
Anything quick you want to ask me earlier? Because I'm going to Pigeon Forge to meet my wife.
Oh, yep.
No, absolutely.
And I'm get up early in the morning, and I got to go to Durham, North Carolina. What's that?
I said, no problem. We only had two more things, actually. Yeah, we were going to ask you if you got any great road stories, and then if there's anything else you want to talk about, your school or promote.
Yeah, I got a lot of great road stories, but I probably caused a lot of divorces.
Just pick one you can tell.
Well, off my bat right now, I don't know. No, but we did a lot of things on the road together. Yeah. You know what? I tell you, the first time I ever went into Louisiana for Bill Watts, that's when Jim Duggan and Magnum TA were there. And, dude, there's a place called the Lighthouse in Alexandria, and they told me it was real asshole. Me and Robert, that's where we lived at, in Alexandria, and we got into Terry off that night, and I walk in, I see his hat's all Jim Duggan, and I see Magnum TA, he went to the best, and then all of a sudden something happened. And I seen a guy come running by with a tar tool in his hand, and Magnum TA was chasing him. But he hit Magnum in the back of the head, that tar tool, but he's chasing him. And then I look up, and here comes, it's like, man, what they would film in a movie. Jim Duggan is on the hood of a truck.
Huh. Oh, Jesus.
Holding on to it, and they're going across the park a lot, 100 miles an hour. The guy hits his brakes. Jim Duggan comes off of it, rolls about 6 times, and the guy's got the truck in reverse, and Jim Duggan's chasing the truck. That was my first night in the Louisiana territory.
Wow.
Yeah, that was close. I have some really good stories I could tell, but I just don't like telling them on the podcast.
No problem.
These.
Yeah, we don't want to get anybody in trouble, Ricky.
No. What is the second question?
Actually, is there anything you want to promote, your school or whatever? Go right for it.
Oh, yeah, man, please. I love seeing you guys. Everybody out there, you guys, too. Just go on Facebook, School of Morton, and check it out and go through it. Everything there is done is really great. And for a guy with no education, check it out. We do everything there at our school. Another thing, if you're interested, I'm in a babyface Ricky Morton on Instagram. A lot of places. You see a lot of good stuff on there. I'm always in the back doing a lot of good stuff. And then regular Facebook, Ricky Morton. This weekend, tomorrow night, I'll be in Durham, North Carolina. I'll be in Spartanburg, the legendary home of NWA, buddy. One of our greatest places that we ever wrestled at. And then next Wednesday, guys, I'll be back at AEW every Tuesday night on YouTube, or you'll see NWA wrestling. And, buddy, it's old school wrestling. Y'all check it out. I really love being a part of that company. Matter of fact, I love being a part of all the companies because it used to be around the boys. The boys is what I stood up for all my life. And that's who I am. I love being around them. And if you guys get a chance to come and see us again, please come.
Will do.
And tell me who you are. And I'll take you to back and show you some things that you never even thought about. Okay?
Ricky,
sounds
that
great.
sounds fantastic. Ricky, we really
man, thank y'all for having me on the show. And God, and to me, I just tell you, I believe in God, and y'all, God bless you, and be careful through that. I hope this 2020 is going to be great to you.
Yes.
And just take it for what it's worth, and never take a day for granted, buddy. Okay? Know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Guys, thank you for listening to the 531 here on YouTube this week. If you like what you hear, you can always find us on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and on the Apple Podcast where you can subscribe and also give us a 5-star rating. We appreciate you listening. We want your feedback, 531, and if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, we also want you to let us know. And let us know what your 531 would be. Come up with a top 5 and let us know, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. And in order for us to do that, please contact us on Twitter. We're at Fans Working. Facebook page, Working Fans Wrestling Pod. Email workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. It's very important that you actually contact us on these platforms because we want this to be your interactive place to talk wrestling.